So I think when we come into the 12-step fellowship, most of us, at least I, walked in with the ability to not have my mask on, or the freedom to not have my mask on. And to some extent, I suppose I still did, but I think this fellowship is a place where we have the freedom to drop our masks. I'm not talking about the pandemic masks. I'm talking about the psychological, emotional, intellectual ones. And we, as a result, start channeling grace from ourselves and to others, to ourselves, and also the other way around. We become receivers, and if we're standing in the right place, the reception is great. Stick with the winners, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. So we start channeling grace. And it's like the 11th step is, after having done all that work, to rid ourselves of the dark masculine and the dark feminine that blocks our reception to our higher power. Higher power is always sending perfectly, but we block the reception sometimes. It's what humans do. But we try to get that stuff out of the way through these steps, right? So we try to keep our gifts clean after step 9 through step 10, so we don't have to turn around and do another 5th step someday. And if you're like the vast majority of us, there's times where you didn't make those amends when you should have, so you have to go back and do another one. No judgment. I don't care if you do or you don't. It isn't about my opinion. But I see step 11 as the channeling point for grace. It's a channel for grace. It's where we really drop our masks. And because we've done so, we can see through other people's masks, not in a judgmental way, but in a healed way. It's like wounded people wound people, hurting people hurt people, but healed people help people. And that little tidbit of spiritual wisdom entered my spiritual consciousness many years ago. And I thought, oh, well, that makes sense. But I heard someone else say we're only as sick as our secrets. Well, the big book also says that our worst things that have happened turn out to be the best things to help someone else. And I'm not quoting it right, but that's not the point. So here we are at step 11. And I know some people don't like the word channeling, like it's the dark arts or something. But think about the 11-step prayer. The prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Now, I'm not Catholic, and I have nothing against Catholics, and I don't have anything for Catholics. But he said, Lord, make me an instrument, and at some point, make me a channel of your grace. And this is what step 11 is. And we don't do step 12, shine with grace, to help a fellow human being until we've let go of the parts of us that aren't feeling grace. So we come into this program and we see deeper than skin color, we see deeper than orientation, we see deeper than religion. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. You don't even have to be an alcoholic. And that's totally the call of the person that makes it, whether they call themselves an alcoholic or not. Totally between them and their higher power. And their higher power will let them be to do it on their own timing. Sometimes we get nudges from our higher power. Some people say we get nudges from the judges in this world. But we don't hear the nudge for what it really is, grace, until we are receptive. And the big book describes how we went from the bridge of faith to the shore, the bridge of reason to the shore of faith. So obviously, I think as we're walking the bridge of reason, we don't know it, but we're walking on water at that very moment. We're walking on water. And when I look back at step 11, after having performed that step, seeking only knowledge for God's will and the power to carry that out, Then we are empowered through that grace. A spiritual experience transforms into a spiritual awareness, and then we can pass on the program. And essentially, step 12 means nothing until we do step 11. But yet the grace is unconditional, unsurmountable. We can get the miracle to precede the faith. That's how it's been in my life. Miracles precede faith. A couple of times faith preceded the miracles. And it's all fine. You know, these are just inside out, outside in paraphrases that we try to understand the paradox of living through. And ultimately, when we get done thinking left and right, north and south, inward and outward, good and bad, forgiveness and offenses, and we eventually get to the point where there's nothing to forgive because we're not offendable, and then we're actually living in the spiritual awareness of grace, and that's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to stop recording now. I've been doing a prayer and meditation session, and these are some of the ideas that popped in during this session. But I got to stop, and I'm breathing hard because I'm in the sauna, and it's really freaking hot in here. So I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.